Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at something that I'm super fascinated by, and you marked as really interesting too.
Yeah.
So it looks like sonic identity design could be a really big deal,
Yeah.
especially going forward into 2025.
Yeah.
Um, and we're going to explore Brennan's take on this. He's, one of the leading thinkers when it comes to these plant-based brands and, eco-conscious and ethical brands.
hmm
And I think his work on sonic identity design just shows his incredible thought leadership.
You know what I find so interesting about Brennan is he brings up the musician Damien Escobar
Okay.
and, talking about how moving his music is. And that got him thinking about how sound kind of like bypasses our logical brain and goes straight for that emotional core.
Oh, so he's talking about like the limbic system, right?
Exactly.
The part of the brain that processes emotions and memories.
That's exactly where Brennan sees this strategic advantage.
Okay.
So while visual branding is limited to just one sense,
Sight.
right, sight, sound kind of adds another layer to create this powerful multiplier effect.
So it's like almost like hitting two birds with one stone, right? Engaging both sight and sound at the same time.
Exactly. And Brennan says this can boost brand recall by like 3 to 5 times.
Wow.
It's like embedding your brand into someone's memory through a unique sonic experience.
Yeah, those numbers are pretty impressive. I'm starting to see why I flag this as a must-read.
Yeah.
It's like a secret weapon for brands.
Yeah.
Especially in a world where we're bombarded with so much visual stuff.
Absolutely. And Brennan highlights 3 key areas where sonic identity can really make a difference.
Okay.
He calls them transaction moments, digital touch points, and community amplification.
Okay, so let's unpack those one by one. What are transaction moments?
So think about all those everyday interactions you have with brands, like buying a coffee or checking out online.
Yeah.
And Brennan believes that these seemingly mundane moments can be transformed into really memorable experiences through sound.
So instead of just hearing a generic beep at checkout,
Right.
you hear a sound that's unique to that brand. And that makes it feel more special and engaging.
Exactly. It's about creating a sense of reward and positive association with the brand. And then you have digital touch points, which are all the ways we interact with brands online. Websites, apps, social media, that kind of thing.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. So it's about creating a distinctive sonic signature that instantly identifies the brand even when you're not looking at it.
Yes.
So instead of just seeing a logo, you might hear a specific sound that tells you, hey, that's brand X.
Exactly. And this leads to the third area, community amplification. This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. How does sound amplify a brand's community?
Well, think about the power of music to bring people together. Certain songs evoke specific emotions, memories, and a sense of shared experience.
Right.
And Brennan believes that brands can leverage this power by creating these sonic experiences that foster a sense of belonging and connection among their customers.
So it's about more than just a jingle or a catchy sound effect.
Way more.
It's about building a sonic world that resonates with the brand's values and attracts like-minded people.
Exactly. And Brennan points out this isn't just some abstract concept. He actually provides a really clear roadmap for how brands can integrate sonic identity into their strategy.
Oh, that's great. I was just thinking about this. You highlighted in your notes his 3-step process. You even put a big star next to it.
Yeah.
So what are those steps?
He calls them sonic asset creation, integration architecture, and leverage amplification.
Okay.
And honestly, the way Brennan breaks it down, it makes it feel less like rocket science and more like a really fun, cool, creative challenge.
Okay, you've got me intrigued now. Let's start with sonic asset creation. What is that?
So it's about building your brand's sonic toolkit. Think about it as, instead of sonic DNA, more like musical Lego blocks, you're starting by defining those core sounds that represent your brand's essence.
So you're not just looking for one sound. You're developing a whole range of sonic elements that can be mixed and matched to create a consistent experience across all touch points.
You got it. And Brennan emphasizes the importance of creating a system that allows you to multiply your brand's sonic presence without losing that sense of consistency.
Got it. So it's like taking those sonic building blocks and using them to create a whole sonic universe for your brand.
Exactly. And that brings us to step 2, integration architecture.
All right, let's build this architecture. What do we need?
So this is where you map out all the ways customers interact with your brand, both online and offline. You identify those key moments, like adding an item to your online shopping cart, or even just walking into a physical store where a sonic trigger can really enhance the experience.
So you're essentially creating a sonic roadmap for the customer journey,
Yes.
designing specific sounds to accompany each interaction. It's like adding a soundtrack to the customer experience.
That's a great analogy. And finally, you have leverage amplification. This is where you really take your sonic strategy to the next level.
Okay, I'm ready to crank up the volume. What does this amplification stage involve?
It's about deploying your sonic identity across all channels. Your website, social media, in-store experiences, advertising, everything. You're not just launching it and hoping for the best. You're constantly measuring emotional responses, using data and analytics to see what's working and what needs to be tweaked.
So it's a dynamic process,
Very much so.
constantly refining and optimizing the sonic experience based on real-time feedback.
That's right. It's about making sure your sonic identity is not only distinctive, but also truly resonates with your audience.
This is fascinating stuff. I'm starting to see the potential here, especially for brands trying to stand out in this crowded market. It's like tapping into a whole new dimension of brand communication.
It really is. And I think you'll be particularly interested in how Brennan connects all of this back to those plant-based and eco-friendly brands.
Yeah.
He sees a real opportunity for them to leverage sonic branding in a way that aligns perfectly with their values
Okay.
and resonates with their target audience.
Okay, now I'm definitely hooked. Tell me more about how he sees this playing out in that space.
So think about the sounds of nature.
Yeah.
Rustling leaves, flowing water, bird song. These sounds evoke the sense of tranquility, connection to nature, and a sense of harmony with the environment.
Right.
And those are exactly the values that many plant-based and eco-friendly brands are all about.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's like using sound to create an immersive experience that transports people to the heart of those brands' values.
Exactly. And it's not just about using nature sounds, it's about choosing music that reflects those values, perhaps something with organic instrumentation or a focus on acoustic sounds.
Right.
And using that consistently across all touch points.
So it's like creating a sonic signature that sets them apart from those brands that might not share those same values.
Yeah.
And in a world that's becoming increasingly, conscious of environmental issues,
Yeah.
that kind of sonic differentiation can be incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. It's about attracting customers who aren't just looking for a product, but they're looking for a way of life. And sound can be such a powerful tool for conveying that message.
This is blowing my mind. I can already see so many applications for this, not just for businesses,
Yeah.
but for individuals as well. It makes you wonder how much of our perception of the world is shaped by the things we hear,
Oh, yeah.
but don't even consciously notice.
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder that sound is more than just background noise. It's a language that speaks directly to our emotions and shapes our experiences.
This is definitely something I'll be thinking about long after this deep dive. It's given me a whole new perspective on the power of sound.
And that's just the beginning. As we move further into 2025, I think we're going to see even more innovative and creative uses of sound in branding and beyond.
I can't wait to see what unfolds. It's an exciting time to be exploring the world of sonic branding.
It really is. And speaking of exploration,
Yeah.
remember that question we posed earlier? What one sound could you use to instantly evoke the feeling of your brand?
That's a great one to chew on. It makes you really think about the essence of your brand and how to capture it in a single evocative sound.
It's a challenge, but it's also an incredibly rewarding exercise. And as you continue to delve into sonic branding, keep that question in mind. You might be surprised by what you discover.
Absolutely. And on that note, let's take a pause here and come back to explore how some brands are already using sonic branding in truly innovative ways. All right, so we've kind of laid the groundwork for sonic branding. Now, I'm really curious to see how brands are actually putting these ideas into practice.
Yeah.
What are some of the real-world examples that stood out to you?
You know, it's amazing how many brands are already using sonic branding in very subtle but effective ways.
Yeah.
One that comes to mind is, remember that small plant-based food company
Yeah.
that you're a fan of?
Mm-hmm.
They've started incorporating, like, nature sounds.
Okay.
Like the crackling of a fire or the sound of rain
Oh, nice.
in their online ads.
Yeah.
And even as hold music for their customer service line.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but it just creates this immediate sense of warmth and connection to nature.
Right.
It perfectly aligns with their brand values.
Exactly. And it shows how sonic branding doesn't have to be this big, expensive production. Sometimes the simplest touches can be the most impactful. Another great example is that eco-friendly clothing brand.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You mentioned them in your
Oh, I
notes.
love them.
Yeah, they've curated these incredible Spotify playlists
Okay.
that their customers can listen to while shopping online or just browsing their social media.
Oh, I love that idea. It's like creating a sonic environment
Yeah.
that reflects the brand's personality and enhances the customer experience.
And they've been really strategic about it, too. The playlists feature artists who share the brand's values, promoting sustainability, ethical practices, and mindful living.
Oh, wow.
So it's a way of connecting with customers on a deeper level and really building a community around those shared values. It's like creating a soundtrack for their brand, a sonic tapestry that weaves together all the different aspects of their message.
And it's working. They've seen a significant increase in social media engagement and brand loyalty since they started incorporating these sonic elements.
That's great.
They're even getting customers creating their own playlists inspired by the brand.
Oh, wow.
It's really turned into this really cool form of community building.
That's amazing. It's a great example of how sonic branding can go beyond just marketing
Totally.
and become a way of life for a brand and its community.
You know, you're really hitting on something important here. Brennan talks about this idea of sonic branding as a way to create this multi-sensory brand experience, one that goes beyond just the product itself.
So it's about immersing customers in a world that reflects the brand's values and aspirations.
Yes,
And creating that sense of belonging and shared purpose.
exactly. And you see this happening more and more with these plant-based and eco-friendly brands.
Mm.
They're using sound to tell stories, to connect with their audience on an emotional level, and to inspire a sense of community around those shared values.
It's like they're creating a sonic movement, a
Yeah,
wave of positive change that's rippling out through sound.
that's such a beautiful way to put it. It really speaks to the potential of sonic branding to go beyond just commercial success and become a force for good in the world.
I love that. It's inspiring to see brands using their platform to create positive change.
Yeah.
And sonic branding is giving them a powerful new tool to do just that.
And it all comes back to what Jay Abraham talks about, thinking differently.
Yes.
Finding those unconventional ways to achieve extraordinary results.
Right.
Sonic branding is a perfect example of that. It's about seeing the potential where others see limitations.
It's about using our ears as well as our eyes to connect with the world around us and to create brands and experiences that are truly meaningful.
Well said. And as you continue to explore this world of sonic branding, keep that sense of possibility and wonder alive, because this is just the beginning. The future of branding is sonic, and it's full of exciting possibilities.
Absolutely. This has been such a fascinating exploration.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how these ideas continue to evolve and shape the world around us.
It's funny, as we've been talking about this, I can't help but think about how perfectly this aligns with the values of plant-based and eco-friendly brands.
Yeah.
It's almost like this concept was made for them.
You're absolutely right. Brennan really emphasizes that connection in his work.
Yeah.
He sees sonic branding as a natural extension of the values that drive those brands. Sustainability, authenticity, connection to nature,
Right.
and a focus on well-being.
It's like they're already speaking this language of sonic branding,
Yeah,
even if they haven't fully realized it yet.
exactly. Think about the imagery and the messaging that these brands often use.
Yeah.
Lush forests, rolling hills,
Right.
fields of wildflowers. I mean, these visuals are already evoking a certain sonic landscape in our minds.
It's true. When I see those images, I can almost hear the sounds of nature.
Art, birds singing, leaves rustling in the breeze, a gentle stream flowing.
And that's the beauty of sonic branding.
Yeah.
It can take those subconscious associations and bring them to life,
Right?
creating a truly immersive experience that just deepens the connection between the brand and the consumer.
So it's about taking what's already there, those inherent sonic qualities of the brand, and amplifying them through this intentional sound design.
Precisely. And it goes beyond just using nature sounds. Think about the music these brands choose for their advertising or their online presence. They can opt for music that has this organic, earthy feel,
Yeah.
maybe featuring acoustic instruments or nature-inspired melodies.
It's about creating a sonic signature that's both distinctive and authentic to the brand's values.
And in a world where consumers are increasingly discerning and seeking out brands that align with their personal values,
Right.
that kind of sonic differentiation can be a major asset.
It's like saying, we're not just selling a product, we're offering a way of life.
Yes.
And that message is conveyed to the sounds that surround the brand.
And remember, this isn't just about attracting new customers.
Right.
It's also about deepening the connection with existing customers,
Okay.
building loyalty, and fostering a sense of community.
It's like creating a sonic tribe, a group of people who are united by their shared values
Yes.
and their appreciation for certain sonic aesthetic.
And that sense of community can be incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
especially in today's world where people are craving connection and a sense of belonging.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive into the world of sonic branding.
Yeah.
It's made me realize how much I've underestimated the power of sound and how it shapes our perception of the world around us.
It's truly a hidden dimension of branding, and I think we're only just beginning to scratch the surface of its potential.
And I have a feeling that plant-based and eco-friendly brands are going to be at the forefront of this sonic revolution,
Yeah.
using sound to create a more sustainable, authentic, and harmonious world.
I completely agree. I mean, they're already leading the way in so many other areas, so it
Yeah.
makes sense that they would embrace this new frontier of branding as well.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave everyone with that thought-provoking question we posed earlier.
Yeah.
What one sound could you use to instantly evoke the feeling of your brand?
Take some time to really consider that question. What sound captures the essence of your brand?
Yeah.
What sound makes you feel connected to your purpose and your values?
It's a question that can spark some truly insightful discoveries about yourself and your brand. And who knows, it might just lead you to create a sonic signature that resonates with the world.
Thanks for joining us on this sonic adventure.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure exploring the power of sound with you.
Until next time, keep listening, keep exploring, and keep believing in the power of sound to change the world.